you for joining us. An absolute cracker. Saturday night, live on BT Sport from the Copper Box Arena. The main event, as we know, Lyndon Arthur against Anthony Yard. Huge rematch for them. And chief support is a fight that's caught the attention of boxing fans. We have Bradley Skeete returning, resurgent, taking on Hamzah Sheeraz, unbeaten, the young buck coming through, and the defending WBO European Super Welterweight Champion. With me up here on the top table, I have Dominic Ingle from the Winkerback Gym, the new trainer of Bradley Super Skeete. Bradley Super Skeete, of course. Welcome back, Brad. And on the other side of the table, we have all the way from LA, from the 10 Goose Boxing Gym, Ricky Funez and his young charge, unbeaten, Hamzah Sheeraz, the man with the whole world in his hands. Frank, of course, you're the man putting it all on. Thanks for this fight. Tee it up for us.
Well, it's a great fight. You know, it's a youth. It's one of the top up and coming fighters in Britain against Bradley Skeete, who was promoted by us for how many fights, Brad? It must be for at least 30 of those fights, wasn't it? 31 of those fights. Who's got nearly 3 times the amount of experience as a professional as Hamzah's had. Hamzah's had 13 fights now. This is a big step up for Hamzah. He's obviously with us now, and he's been with us from the beginning of his career. I really do have high hopes for him, and I do believe in him as a fighter, and that's why we made this match. This is going to be a bit of an acid test for him. Bradley, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this is a fight from his perspective. He can't afford to lose this if he wants to get into another big fight. And for Hamzah, he certainly won't want to be in a position where there's any hiccup in this, or a bump in the road as far as this fight's concerned. Both got superb trainers. They've got great track records, the both of them, and I'm not going to go into all what they've done between them, but you know what they are. But the bottom line of all this is, these are the fights that the fans want to see. These are the fights that you want to see up-and-coming, tremendous young prospects in. And that's what we're going to get on Saturday. And I think we're going to get something that's going to be a little bit special. And I think we've got in there a special young talent. And we've got in Bradley, the guy, if anybody's going to test that talent, is Bradley Skeete. So it's all set up, all ready for Saturday. And as I say, I think we're going to see something a little bit electric.
Frank, Bradley, you know, you said it yourself, he's been with Queensbury, with yourself, for many years. Really one of the flag bearers for BoxNation. He's now in the away corner on Saturday night. What are your emotions heading into that? Knowing that you're not really cheering for him to win, right?
Well, I mean, I'm lying if I said I would. Bradley moved on, and Bradley, I hope we had some really great and really good times together. You know, Bradley was in the position Hamzah was in his 13th fight. You look back at it, he was there, and he was being put in fights that tested him. And there were times when Bradley, when he really turned it on big time. Sometimes he looked absolutely superb. But as you say, he moved on. He changed his trainers, he's changed his camp, he's trained, where he's based now, and he obviously feels that's for better, for the better for him. What he has got though, he's got experience, he's got a mature boxing mind now, and I'm quite sure he knows what he's going to be in for, as far as the new young buck is concerned on Saturday. And as regarding Hamzah, I'm quite sure that he knows what he's got in front of him, and he knows what he's got to do to get through this. He is, one of our top up and coming young stars, and we're going to see now if we've made the right decision in making this fight.
Well, let's bring Dominic Ingle in at this point. Dominic, widely seen, I think, as one of the best trainers in the country. When Bradley Skeete rocked up in Sheffield in the Winkerback Gym around a year ago, what made you think, do you know what, he's still got something left, let's go again?
Yeah, he sparred with the likes of Liam Williams, Kell Brook, and you could see he'd still got it. He got it with solid shots, he still had the time, he still had the speed. And you kind of know when you see kids of his age who've been out for a while sparring for that amount of time, that generally they don't get it back. But he performed very well. And that's why I decided to work with him, because to be honest, it's no good flogging a dead horse in boxing. It's you can't revive boxers once they're past it. And Bradley's showed he's still got the determination, the speed, the timing to do it. And it's good because I've worked with Frank a lot of years, 30 odd years, and I found myself in this position a lot, being on the B-side card. And I'll go back to Andrew Facey against Matthew Macklin when he was coming through, and Andrew Facey beat him. And there's been another example, post-crap iron Ryan John Thaxton, when there's a heavy favourite in the fight, and we've upset the apple cart, come along and the underdogs won, and that's what makes boxing exciting, as Frank said. You know, he gives us these opportunities, it's a sink or swim. You know, he's thinking Hamzah's just, you know, peaking and Bradley's just on the slide, and we shall see on the night. You know, he might be right, he might be wrong, and it's a gamble boxing, you know, it could all go wrong, and that's what we're aiming to do.
How did we land on Hamzah Sheeraz? When Bradley first came back, I saw a few interviews declaring you were back, Bradley. There was talk of Conor Benn, I think Ted Cheeseman was mentioned as well. We've landed on Hamzah Sheeraz. From your perspective, Dom, how has that happened?
Well, to be honest, I got a call from Francis, and I was sat at the side of the ring sparring, and Brad was sparring, and he said, "Oh, what about Bradley Skeete against this kid?" And I'd looked at his record, I thought, he looks dangerous. Look at him, young kid, tall, can bang, punching everybody out. It's not really the fight that Bradley Skeete really needs at this point. He's been out two years. He's only had a comeback fight, 6 rounds. And I said to Francis, "Oh, I'll give you a call back." And I sat and, you know, dwelt on it a little bit. And then over the weeks, I saw what Bradley was doing in the gym with the guys who were going up to sparring, some prospects as well, I'm not giving too much away. And I thought, you know what, if he can be taking solid shots off these guys and he can be getting the top side of them in sparring, I know sparring's sparring, you know, and he's at 11 stone now, not 10 and a half, so he's got a bit more strength. I thought, you know, why not? And then we got a call again from Frank's office, and, you know, Brad says, yeah, you know, I've watched him, I'm confident I can win that fight. So I let him make the decision. You know, he knows himself, he's been there, he's been around the block, and he said he ain't got enough experience for me. You know, he's coming through, and it's going to be his youth and determination against my experience, and you know, that's where we're at.
Too much, too soon for Hamzah Sheeraz?
You never know, do you? It's one of those fights. Like I said, boxing's all about timing. You know, I just go back to look at Nazim Ahmed got beat by Barrera, but Amir Khan beat him. But if you look on the record, it looks fantastic. Amir Khan beat, you know, Barrera, who Nazim Ahmed couldn't beat. He was well past his sell-by date. Is Brad past his sell-by date, or is Hamzah ready for the challenge? That's what we're going to see. You know, he's stepping up. He's stepping up. He's getting a slightly watered-down version of what Bradley Skeete was a few years ago. But it's for Brad to dig in and find that. You know, and that's how matchmaking is. That's how it works out. Very rarely do you get two fighters really at the top of the game fighting each other, and you know, it's like I say, it's a move up for Hamzah on paper, and you know, it's a time for Brad to reinvent himself.
Thank you, Dom. And look, if you hear anything you don't like, feel free to interject. Ricky, second camp now with Hamzah Sheeraz. You're with him every day, you're around him out in LA. You've been around some great fighters, Diego Corrales, these sorts of guys out in LA. Tell us the sort of talent that you've got on your hands there in Hamzah Sheeraz.
Well, you know, Hamzah's a young prospect, a young fighter. There's a lot of potential for him. So, like we were saying, Skeete, you know, has the experience. So, like I love challenge. And Hamzah 13-0, like they said, that doesn't really matter. And, you know, anything could happen. One punch could change the outcome of any fight. So I believe in Hamzah a lot. I see a lot of skills. One main thing that I love about Hamzah, I don't have to be around him every day. He's a disciplined fighter, well-spoken, carries himself well. I could leave water, food, anything he don't touch. Very disciplined. That's one of the main things that I believe in Hamzah so much.
And very smart.
Oh, very smart.
We're going to change his moniker to Dapper Hamzah Sheeraz.
For 22 years old, let me tell you something, very, very smart.
I could do with that suit, to be honest, Hamzah. What does Hamzah Sheeraz need to be wary of on Saturday night when it comes to Bradley Skeete?
Everything. Everything. We will prepare for anything. His experience, Skeete's experience is going to be, we can't overlook that. And I told Hamzah, we got to be prepared for everything. We got a plan A to plan C. You know, if that C doesn't work, we go back to B and then A. So we don't want to overlook Skeete, you know. So, but the way I see things and the way I've seen Hamzah train, especially with the world champions and the sparring partners that we've been having, Hamzah's been getting a lot more experience than I think that he would be getting here in the UK, which it means a lot. But that doesn't change the outcome of it, what could happen in the fight. I just believe in Hamzah so much Like I believed in other fighters that I work with, like Brandon Rios, Corrales, Frankie Lyles, Gabriel Rafael Relas. You know, all that I learned through Joe Goosen, who's been my mentor and my teacher to this day. I stay in touch with him just 2 days ago and told him, hey, this is what's going on. He goes, okay, keep doing this, this, and this. And I'm going to keep going to the day of the fight, till we raise our hands at the end of the night.
Well, tell us how it's going to end then. How do you
Say it again?
How do you see this fight ending? Obviously, the hands raised, but
I don't want to predict anything because anything could happen. You know, I don't want to sound foolish and say anything. You know, he got a great coach himself. I don't know much about Ingo. You can see he has a lot of experience here in the UK. So me, I'm like Hamzah. I'm a young puppy as well, you know.
a fairly diplomatic answer. Bradley Skeete. Thank you, Ricky. Bradley Skeete, welcome back. Listen, we have seen this story so many times in the history of boxing. You have the young buck coming through, tearing up the division, knocking everyone out, and then he sees a scalp, he sees a name, he sees someone who's maybe in the twilight of their career, and he goes through them, and he goes on. Why is Saturday night any different?
Because this
Because it's not always that way, is it, Brad?
don't work like that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Everyone keeps talking about experience. Forget the experience. I can fight. Like, I can fight. Do you know what I mean? I ain't won and got where I've got just having experience. I can fight. And that's all, like, yeah, I've got experience. I've had 32 fights. But people seem to forget I can fight. So that's what's got me where I've been and what I've done and achieved. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, listen, I've said it. I'm not going to sit and badmouth him. I like him. He can fight. He's young, fresh champion. And I respect him for that. And I respect him for taking the fight. I've been banging on for an opportunity now, and Frank's obviously given me this opportunity. And this ain't Hamzah's coming out party. All the big things being said of him, I appreciate and I believe. Do you know what I mean? But it's not his night on Saturday. He will come and do that. He's young, he's fresh. Do you know what I mean? He will do that. But my night is Saturday to get back where I need to be, get his belt, get back in them world rankings, and push on and with my career.
You said to me over there, as we met at the start, you said, no more Mr. Nice Guy, Dev.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Angry Bradley Skeete. Tell us about the mindset.
I'm on it. They've moved away, obviously, moved up to Sheffield with Dom, training with Dom. I've been there over a year now. So, yeah, just complete different. I'm not in my comfort zone. If I was coming back and just having a jolly up and just seeing, just the last roll of the dice, I would have been back with our iBox, which is 10 minutes from my house, living a life, do you know what I mean? Comfortable in my comfort zone. I didn't want that. I've come back to get back to bigger and better. I'm not done with boxing yet. I've not achieved what I want and know I can achieve.
So this fight's at super welterweight. You were a huge welterweight. Your advantages really in that division was that you tended to be taller, bigger than everyone, kept them all at range. You're stepping up in weight and you're taking on a huge super welterweight. Where do you see your success coming in this fight?
Yeah, I wouldn't look at myself as being a small super welterweight like myself. Ham was very tall and ranging, and I wouldn't say he's big for the weight. He's like me as a welterweight. Do you know what I mean? I was very tall and rangy, but I think obviously he struggles to do the weight. He's massive for the weight, and that'd be a struggle. And I know what that was like at me to getting down to welterweight. So I think the weight suits me better. I've moved up and I'm comfortable. I feel a lot stronger at the weight and much better at the weight.
Because a lot of this talk has been about you being like the name that Hamzah Sheeraz needs on his resume before he moves on. Do you feel a little disrespected heading into this, considering former British champion, former Commonwealth champion, challenge for the European title, but you're being looked at as someone who's a little bit past it, and he's going to move on?
It's gonna happen, ain't it? Listen, like I said, I've had 32 fights. I've been there and done it. I've boxed at a very high level, winning the British title. Not just winning the British title, I went on to defend it 3 times and win it outright. Not many people can say they've done that, do you know what I mean? And just experience alone don't get you that. You've got to be able to fight to do that. And like I say, yeah, I've got the experience. Yeah, he's young, he's fresh. That's what people keep banging on about. But I'm coming to fight, and I'm coming to win, do you know what I mean?
I can tell you're coming to fight. Listen, I'm going to ask you for a prediction, but I don't want you to water down what you've said in previous interviews. Because in previous interviews, you've said you're going to smash Hamzah Sheeraz's face in.
Yeah.
What's your prediction?
I'm not cuddle him on Saturday, am I? I'm not coming in to have a little cuddle match. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure he's coming to smash my face in. So that's my mindset now. I've got a lot of people to prove wrong, and a lot of people thinking, oh, I've passed this is his last fight or his last chance. No, I'm far from finished from boxing. I've had my break, I've had my time off, I've had a good rest. Do you know what I mean? I needed it. I've got with them now, moved away. I'm fresh, I'm good. Look at me, I'm fresh, I'm on it. Like, I ain't been like this before. I've never been up for a fight so much as this one. So I'm coming to smash his face in. Listen, I'm not saying it disrespectful. I like him. I think he's good and everything, but it's a fight. I'm not coming to cuddle him.
Okay, well, Hamzah, he's coming to not cuddle you and respectfully smash your face in. Your thoughts?
Listen, I hope he does, to be honest with you. I hope he does, and I hope he meets me in the middle of the ring as well, because, listen, people are paying. I've got people coming to watch me, do you know what I mean? Hopefully we can put on an entertaining fight, and I'm looking forward to it, Dev.
People are talking about this version of Bradley Skeete, 34 years old, bit of inactivity, obviously came back and stopped the journeyman, but relatively inactive. Do you feel as though you would have stopped, beaten any version of Bradley Skeete?
100%, 100%. I could say that with a lot of faith in myself as well. But listen, I can do all the talking in the world, to be honest with you. I can say this, say that. We're 2 days away from the fight now. So listen, come Saturday night, I'm putting a good performance and hopefully get a knockout victory.
Let me just say something. This version, that version of me, 2 years, 3 years ago, however long it was, they wouldn't have dreamed of mentioning mine and his name together. Frank wouldn't even have dreamed of putting him in with me. So you can't say that. That version of me back then, you know, I've been there, done it. They wouldn't have dreamed of putting him in with me.
Any thoughts, Hamzah?
Not really. Like I said, 2 days away from the fight now. 2 days. I'm not really one to go and like run my mouth and everything. We're here. Look, I've got this far doing what I've done, knocking people out. Do you know what I mean? I'm on, I think, a 6 or 7 fight knockout streak. Come Saturday night, hopefully he'll be the 8th one.
Do you relish this, that this is the first fight really where there's a few questions here and there?
Yeah, there's going to be in there. Listen, like, he's had more knockouts than I've actually had fights. So if you look at it like that, on terms of paper and everything, it's like, oh shit, what they're doing now. But listen, I'm more than confident in myself. I'm more than confident in myself, and it's a brilliant fight. It's a brilliant fight on paper, and it's going to be a brilliant fight in the ring as well. I know he's saying that 3 years ago they wouldn't mention my name in the same as his. Yeah, that's because I was what? How many fights did I have then?
You were about 12 years old, weren't you?
I was watching him then. I was ringside when he beat Shane Singleton. I was there. I was ringside. So listen, obviously you weren't going to mention my name then, but listen, it's funny how your career plays out. Listen, me and him, we're mentioning the same name now, and now we're fighting Saturday night.
And you, as you said, you were on his undercard before. You sparred him as a 17-year-old. You probably looked up to him a little bit, right, as you were coming through, and now this fella here is standing in your way. What are the emotions heading into this fight, considering you probably looked up to him once?
Listen, there ain't much emotions at the end of the day, because it ain't nothing personal. It's business at the end of the day, do you know what I mean? But he is in front of me, and he is trying to take food off my plate, so I've got to get him out there, and I've got to get him out there in devastating fashion.
Bradley, anything you want to say to Hamzah Sheeraz ahead of your face-off and then weigh-in tomorrow night? Here he is.
Just, we're here to fight, that's it. Listen, there's no animosity, no disrespect. I'm coming to smash your face in, you're coming to smash mine in. Like I say, you got a lot of people coming, I've got a lot of people coming. Let's have a good fight.
That's it. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
Frank, final word from you on this one. This mouth-watering chief support, two of boxing's nice guys coming to smash each other's faces in.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good fight, and there's going to be a great atmosphere there. There's no doubt about that. And as I always say, the people who will benefit will be the fans and the viewers. It's going to be a good fight.
Tune in Saturday night from 7:30. We're going to do a quick face-off down the front here with Hamzah and Bradley, and then we'll move on to the main press conference for Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur. Big rematch.